20 Most Unacceptable President in USA. Number 1 Andrew Jackson, 1829 to 1837. Drove the Indian Removal Act, 1830, forcing the Cherokee and other nations from their homelands, what became the deadly Trail of Tears. 2. James Buchanan, 1857 to 1861. Signalled to Supreme Court justices before Dred Scott, 1857, and helped the pro-slavery decision land broadly, then stood idle as secession loomed. 3. Andrew Johnson, 1865 to 1869. Tried to roll back black freedom after the Civil War, vetoed the Civil Rights Act of 1866, and opposed the 14th Amendment, later impeached. 4. Franklin Pierce, 1853 to 1857. Signed the Kansas-Nebraska Act, 1854, opening the West to slavery and igniting Bleeding Kansas. 5th Millard Fillmore, 1850 to 1853. Enforced the Fugitive Slave Act, 1850, compelling the return of escaped people to bondage and criminalizing aid to them. 6. Ulysses S. Grant, 1869 to 1877. His presidency was riddled with corruption scandals, e.g. Whiskey Ring, eroding public trust even as he personally wasn't charged. 7. Warren G. Harding, 1921 to 1923. Oversaw the Teapot Dome scandal, secret federal oil lease bribes, one of the era's biggest corruption cases. 8. Richard Nixon, 1969 to 1974. Orchestrated Watergate, political break-ins, cover-ups, abuses of power, resigned in disgrace. 9. Herbert Hoover, 1929 to 1933. Responded weakly to the Great Depression and sent troops to disperse the 1932 Bonus Army of veterans with gas and bayonets. 10th, Woodrow Wilson, 1913–1921. Resegregated parts of the federal workforce and pushed espionage, 1917, and sedition, 1918, acts that jailed dissenters like Eugene Debs. 11. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1933–1945. Signed Executive Order 9066, enabling mass incarceration of Japanese Americans without due process. 12th, Lyndon B. Johnson, 1963–1969. Escalated the Vietnam War after the disputed Gulf of Tonkin events. The Tonkin Resolution gave him sweeping war powers. 13. Ronald Reagan, 1981–1989. Iran-Contra broke the law by secretly funding Nicaraguan rebels. His administration also delayed and downplayed the AIDS crisis in its deadly early years. 14. George W. Bush, 2001–2009. Invaded Iraq on false WMD premises and presided over torture in CIA black sites, documented by Senate investigations. 15. Donald J. Trump, 2017–2021. Impeached twice, 2019, 2021, and found by the January 6 committee to bear responsibility for efforts to overturn the 2020 election. 16. Thomas Jefferson, 1801–1809. Wrote liberty into America's creed while enslaving hundreds of people at Monticello, profiting from their labor. 17. James Madison, 1809–1817. Led the War of 1812, during which British forces burned Washington, D.C., including the White House. 18. John Tyler, 1841–1845. Expelled from his own party, wielded vetoes to block financial reforms, and pushed annexation of Texas, stoking sectional tensions. 19th, Grover Cleveland, 1885–1889, 1893–1897. Sent federal troops to crush the Pullman Strike, 1894, a violent suppression of labor. 20. James K. Polk, 1845–1849.